Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Passionate Living with Phenie and Poh. And today we're going to be talking about how fears can sabotage living a passionate, fulfilling, happy life. How are you, Phenie?
I'm doing quite well. And how are you?
I'm doing quite well too on my end. Now, today is quite an interesting topic because I know for a lot of people, fears hold them back on doing a lot of things, especially when it comes to taking a chance on dreams. And some of the common things people are afraid of are usually things like fear of what people think of them, fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of looking stupid, things like that, or even fear of, I don't know, being seen out in public doing certain things. Who knows? These are normally quite the common ones. Now, how about for you, Phenie? What has been a fear that you've had to overcome in recent times?
Fear of failure, fear of getting out there, starting, enduring, and still not ending up where I say I want to go. Also, there is fear of what other people would think in response to my failure. That is some of the fears. Also, there's a fear of taking risk. And there is also a fear of I told you so. Naysayers and I told you so. Those are some of the fears that I have and had to face. How does that sabotage a passionate life? Well, you're not living from an authentic space, because your actions, you're basically doing things based on somebody else's perception. Some of it's yours and some of it's other people, and deep down inside you know what you want to do, you know how you want to live, but since you are living from a surface standpoint, you don't do what will truly make you happy and in turn have you enjoying a passionate life. That's pretty much it.
Agreed. And do you know what? Well, recently we've been having a lot of conversations, and I definitely feel as though there's a fear also of letting go, because it's the crumbs mentality, thinking this is all there is. And so if this is all I believe there is,
oh my gosh,
then I must hang on to it for dear life. I must hang on to the crumbs for dear life, because for the fear of not being able to get anything better. Does that ring a bell with you? I know that's the case.
You
Go on, address it.
These crumbs. Yo, man, please don't get me started about these crumbs, eh? Don't get me started about these crumbs. Yes, there's a fear of letting go of the crap that you basically, you set yourself up thinking that you cannot have better, do better, be better. So the things that life throws at you, not even the things that life throws at you, the things that you attract to you, the crumbs. You attract circumstances, you attract people, you attract certain events and situations that you say is not palatable, but you're willing to accept, and then you get so used to it, you think that that's the best you can do, or that's the best you can experience, and in turn you hold on to these things, and when you hold on to them, you don't open yourself up for something better. Now, playing devil's advocate, one can say, okay, well, you can let go of what you're holding on to and end up with worse. But at the end of the day, the crumbs aren't making you happy. And if you focus more on, I can sit here and tell you that it's just so simple to say, oh, you just focus on this, focus on that. The bottom line is you just got to get sick and tired of the crumbs. When you get sick and tired of the crumbs, then guess what? You won't accept crumbs. You won't choose crumbs. You won't invite. And if you happen to have crumbs into your life, it will not faze you because you're not going to dine on these crumbs. Leave it to you to come back with this crumb story, but go ahead.
I know as women, it's so easy to be habitual crumb eaters and to just accept that's all you can have. I know that for sure. Okay, talking about specific examples, and given that we lead quite parallel lives, I think for us, two pertinent areas where we accepted crumbage was definitely in the love department and in the business department. In terms of love, and I'm sure a lot of people watching this, it's, yes, everybody, every guy, every girl has good qualities about them. But there's telltale signs when you're receiving crumbs, when you're not being treated in the best way that you should be treated, and you're just accepting it. And really, we need to let go of that fear that that is all there is, because while you're accepting less, you're going to keep attracting and manifesting so much less in your life. It's a perpetual cycle, no matter what area of your life it is in. So with business, for example, even though it didn't feel completely right, it just didn't resonate, it served its purpose, it's so easy to keep hanging on to a hope that it will all turn around. But the bottom line is, and what we keep talking about in our series, is that you need to follow what feels good. Not because, you know, that's all you think there might be and you need to twist it and turn it to make it seem good. It's about, how can I live in a way that's just so completely me and not try to fudge things to try to make it work. Don't you think?
I agree 100%. You said fudging things to make it work. I mean, we have our private discussions, and there comes a point, you've pointed it out before, there comes a time when the fudging is, if it becomes a chore to fudge things, it doesn't feel good anymore, and it's not working for you anymore, and you're getting tired and fed up, and that alone is an indicator that it's time to let things go. I know for me personally, I had a point to prove to myself and to others. I didn't want, there were a lot of naysayers, and the thing about it is everybody's looking for a safe way to achieve their dreams or their passion, or they just give it up altogether. And people see you doing new things, trying new things, and they're like, oh, well, that's scammy, or that's an issue, or you'll never make it in that department, or you believe in that business model, or it's not sustainable. And in your heart of hearts, you know that it is, and you believe in it, so you join it and you do things. You feel kind of off, but you still continue. And then after a while, you've extracted what you needed out of the situation. But sometimes you just keep holding on to the situation because you have something to prove to someone. And really, in you holding on to prove it to someone, it weighs you down. I've come to realize that, and you've said it, about risk. Most people are not willing to take risks. And sometimes in you taking risks, sometimes when you let go, some people may look at it as, oh, well, you're failing, but no. If you hung on, you would definitely fail. This is what's so weird. Life is so fascinatingly deep, interestingly deep. if you hold on to something that you need to let go and you're holding on for the sake of it, when the ship's going down, you're going to go down with the ship. Period. And sometimes people may look and say, oh, that's a failure because you're not hanging on to that ship until it sinks. The point is, letting go is part of the journey of excelling. Some people say, oh, that didn't work. I knew it wasn't going to work. That wasn't going to happen for you. Oh, your business failed. Oh, why did you bother in the beginning? But the skill and the the person that you are becoming or became just by trying those things, that is the success and the seeds for your next venture or for whatever it is that you're creating. And you had to do what you did, and you had to let it go and not go down with the ship in order to get there. And I believe a lot of people they just don't see that. I know for me, I didn't see it in the beginning until I got into the thick of things, and then I realized, oh, that's the lesson in this. Oh, do I feel shame sometimes? Yes. Do I feel annoyed sometimes? Yes. Because, you know, you want to prove people wrong. You want to prove people wrong. You want to, it's all ego. It's all ego. But when you look back on something and really think about it, and you look at all the pitfalls and all the challenges and all the money you've spent and all the things that you've done, you look back, and if someone, and you get to the promised land, whatever it is, and you turn around and somebody says to you, hey, would you have done that again? Even though you knew it was painful, or you knew it was a challenge, or you knew you had issues, you say, heck yeah. Because look where it got you. You had to go through it to get there, so heck yeah. That's my thoughts on it.
Lots of great points, Phenie, and I think the great thing about people that are willing to overcome their fears is that they're taking a chance. There is no guarantees in this world that by taking a chance, everything is going to be blossoms, sunshine, lollipops, and everything's going to be perfect. But when you dare take a chance and take that risk, there is always something to be gained, for sure. I've never had a situation in my life where I thought it was an utter waste of time. None. Like even in my 10 years working my corporate job, do I think was that a complete waste? No, absolutely not. It definitely taught me a lot about leadership, taught me a lot about how to deal with difficult people, so many different things. But everything you encounter in life is a stepping stone. But the point is not letting the fear and complacency stop you from moving forward. Because that's the thing. Fear breeds inaction. And when it breeds inaction, there's just no way for you to live that passionate, happy life. There's no way for you to grow and be better as a person. So my personal advice, time and time again, if I'm afraid of something, I just do it anyway. And I'm always so much better for it. And I've mentioned before, you know, one of my biggest fears was what people thought, especially when I went on the online journey and started talking about my life. I mean, what's people gonna think about me? What are they gonna think? Who knows? And who really cares what they think? The bottom line is you need to do what feels right for you. You can't live based on what people may or may not think. You have to do what feels right. So, yeah, what would be some of your advice to people that have fears, Phenie?
Well, how I've handled it so far is I just did it anyway. I had to put up videos. I put up videos. I sat there. I stuttered. I looked like a fool. I halfway laughed through my first couple of videos. I didn't like social media. I didn't like to put up pics of myself. I didn't like to, well, I still don't expose my private life most people who know me online, they see me through video. They see me through write-ups, things I write about, or posting quotes, stuff like that. You see little tidbits of myself, and that part I'm willing to share openly with the world, those parts of myself. But even in doing that, I had issues at first. I had issues, especially with the videos. I used to do videos, and people used to comment, some of my friends, and say, oh, you're not dressed to the nines, and oh, you need to fix yourself up a little bit more, or why are you looking like that? And then I've had some tell me, oh my goodness, you got up there and you look a hot mess. And then the attitude was, hey, well, I get the point. You're just trying to get the message out. See, in the past, is that an echo? In the past, I would feel very funny about it. And I've gotten to the point where I'm like, I don't really do it. As long as you get up here and you do this, do something different. Get out of your comfort zone. You're not doing that. So it's easy for you to sit there and make all these comments. So I did it anyway. There's some days things were, oh, I used to be a perfectionist as far as, oh, well, what about the grammar, and what about this? And it's like, look, I get the content out, I publish it. If there's a few mistakes, I'll go back and edit it. I mean, I do it anyway. That's the only thing I can tell somebody. You just do it regardless. That's all you can do. That's all you can do. Yes.
Yep, I totally agree with you. And speaking of some of the victories as a result of conquering fears, let's go through that. That would be an interesting thing. I think for me, past fear would have been the fear of instability. Like, for example, after taking that leap to quit my job in 2012, now, wow, talk about doing something pretty huge and overcoming that fear of, so what's going to happen? Is everything going to work out fine? And you know what? It hasn't always been the most perfect journey, but thinking about the kind of experiences that I've had, the new people and friends that I've met through that, and growth, being able to travel to so many different places around the world, be in the progress of formulating my dream business. I honestly don't think I would have done any of that if I did not overcome that fear of what happens if disaster happens. I guess having regret is probably enough to say whatever fear, too bad, that has to be overcome, got to move forward. No regrets, period.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you say has been an example of a victory you've had, a big victory that you've had in overcoming fears?
I always relate it back to being here, because I don't think people understand how I needed some. It's funny. When I started out, I didn't know what I didn't know. And I took a big risk. Entered into the online scene, online entrepreneurial journey. What was the risk? Oh, I'll give another risk also. Online journey. I invested in some products and training, and that was a risk, because I am traditionally, a lot of people are traditionally raised to believe that academia is the only way you can get there. So you're spending a lot of money, or on all these trainings and all these learning materials, and it's not from an accredited organization or establishment. And so that is a risk in and of itself. You wanting to be an entrepreneur and you need training. And it's like people are looking at you, like you're crazy. Even I feel crazy, or felt crazy, because it's like, okay, this is not the traditional path of learning. What are some of the big victories in that? I've learned that there are a lot of ways to be educated without going the traditional path. What else have I learned? I've learned that my dreams are not, it's not a straight line to my dreams. It's not anything you can sit out and just chart and say, okay, I'm going to take this direction, this path, and I'm just going to end up there. The person I'm becoming in order to get to where I need to be and go, you see yourself changing every day. You see yourself changing at some of the things that you've done in the past and how your thought process is different. That's part of the victory. What's some of the victory? Peace. Peace of mind of not having any regrets, as you say. It's really the entrepreneurial thing. That right there in and of itself, you're basically saying that you want to be your own safety net. You're basically saying that your competence is going to put food on the table. It's going to put enjoyment in your life through your work. That stuff is not easily charted. You can't chart that out. It's not easily charted out. People trade that for security. And they don't understand there is no ultimate security. The ultimate security is your competency. I think I said that word right? Anyway, it's how competent you are and how you learn the skill of creating a lifestyle emotionally, mentally, spiritually, financially for yourself that is solely dependent on you and not someone saying to you one day, well, you know, I can't tolerate you anymore. I mean, that stuff is not easily charted out, and you got to feel your way there. And most people just don't want to do it. And the victory for me, too, is the fact that I am actually gaining more and more courage to even walk the path. I believe I'll get there. It's just that on the way there, you know, you may feel a little shaky, but eventually you woman up to get there. I believe all those are victories. All of those are victories. I kind of went off on a tangent. Did I answer your question?
Well, they all sound like great victories to me, and I think the ultimate victory is being more and more of who you truly are. And whoever thought being more and more of who you truly are would be so challenging to get towards? Because it's certainly going to entail letting go of fears, and a lot of the time false evidence appearing real. When you actually do go out and confront it, you realize what was the big deal to begin with. So you realize, in actual fact, there's nothing to be fearful of. The only thing you're fearing is stuff that you're conjuring up in your imagination. So you got to keep going. You got to keep moving forward. Keep following the signs. Keep following gut. Because a lot of people, through fear, they don't follow their gut. If your gut tells you to do something, just do it. Otherwise, I'm sure the universe will find some other way to make sure you learn the lesson. So it's better just to learn the lesson while you have it. Trust me on that.
I agree.
So, any concluding thoughts, Phenie, before we wrap up?
Basically, I mean, we've covered how fears can sabotage our life in the sense that we don't live true to our authentic self. And really, when you don't live true to your authentic self, it is a miserable existence. It can cause sickness, it can cause dis-ease, it can cause a whole lot of problems. And the only way to overcome that is to, I mean, you don't be scared, so what? Just do it anyway. Just do it anyway. And you'd be surprised that the more you do it, the more skilled you become at feeling the fear and doing it anyway. That's basically it.
Yeah. Indeed, it starts to become a reflex.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
Well, okay, I'll do it anyway because it always turns out in the end,
Yes.
even if it's in the form of a lesson or
Yes.
contrast or a step towards your dreams, it's still meaningful in some way.
Yes.
Okay, guys, on that note, we're going to wrap up. And if you would like to find out more about us and our journey, check out our blogs. Mine is www.becomingpoland.com. And yours, Phenie?
www.snatchingmydreamsback.com.
Okay, guys, it's great talking to you, Phenie, and we'll catch you next week. Bye for now.
Bye.